Morning YouTube, fellow berserkers. This is an excellent adventure camping out here. I had many animals throughout the night show up and walk through here. The flowers are actually growing pretty good. You can get a close-up here later in a little bit. You can check out the beanie weenies. That's my name for my bees. I call them that. Look at them go. And they are as busy as a bee. That's where that term comes from. Look at this. You know, those little yellow sacs they have? That's all pollen. If you can see it. I'm going to try to zoom in. Yeah, look at that. You see those? So they collect pollen on their legs. They got these little contraptions. It's like a little bunch of hairs. And they collect pollen and carry that back. And wow, that's amazing. For this late in the year, for them to actually have pollen, and that's a lot. It's usually, after it's rained here pretty hard, it's difficult for the bees to find any pollen left on the plants because it's washed all off. We've had a couple of days of nice rain, which is good. Everything grew really well. Over there, this is actually called a bee tree, a Bienenbaum. And it's coming to fashion now for the beekeepers here. Those trees are actually becoming very popular. I've got one over there. I've got one here. I've got a couple. I've got 5 or 6 nice ones, and I'm actually growing a whole bunch of them. I'm kind of skeptic about them at first because they're not from Europe, but they give the bees an excellent source of food in the very late fall. Now I'm gonna see if these trees are actually going to bloom, because they don't bloom until they're about 4 to 5 years old, and that one there might probably not. But if that one over there regenerates itself some, it took a pretty big hit in the trailer on their way home. A long drive, and I couldn't cover it up very well, so it lost a lot of leaves, but it's growing pretty well. That one might bloom this fall. I'm very excited. I'm going to give you a quick show of what I have here in my bee garden. I got my water jug there. I don't want to fall. I have some lavender, which I got really cheap at the Home Depot. They were selling it off as a everything marked down sale, so I bought all of it and planted it. If you're very quiet now, you're going to get to see. Get me very quiet. Yeah, there's a sheep over there. It's the neighbor property. It's got sheep. Sometimes they come over and eat my plants. I gotta fix the fence. Chase them back over. Got some catnip, I guess they call that in English. Got all kinds of different plants for the bees here. Now those flowers had better days. They've actually bloomed already. And I'm going to probably cut them down and see if they come back. But if not, then I'll just plant something else in there next year. I'll figure it out. It's constant development and change. Different flowers and different things, and maybe next year I'll do something new. I'll maybe put something. I have some nice things on the way. Some nice plants. I may replace a bunch of these with something else. This was just something to do during the long summer off. I had to go do something, so I bought a bunch of. Oh, there's the alarm. That almost ruined the video. I was able to get it. Yeah, all kinds of different flowers. Bumblebees love these for some reason. The bumblebees, they land and then they bend the whole flower. That's funny. Yeah, I got all kinds. I got more lavender here. This is a really cool one. This one is called, let me get it on a camera for you. Heptacodium. Can't zoom. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I'm doing this on my cell phone just for you guys real quick. Just a quick video of the bees. This is pretty cool. This is also a late bloomer for the fall. Trying to make it so that there's like a, they say Trachtluken Fließband. That's like a chain event of your plants blooming in different order so that the bees always have something no matter what time of the year it is. That's what I'm working on getting done. And we're going to sit here and look at these bees go. They have the tiny hole because they're not very large yet. It's to protect them from other bees coming to rob them. So it keeps a tiny entrance. They're able to defend it better. I'm going to check all these today. That bee folk right there, it looks like they're doing pretty good. I checked this one last week also. They were doing pretty good. There they go. They're not that large yet. That's why they're not as busy. Now that one on the left there, I'm worried about. They had a queen for about a week, and then either the queen died or they kicked her out. So now they made a new one last week. So I'm gonna have to look and see today, later on, if we have a surprise, if the new queen is back, or if I have to do something with that folk. Maybe I have to put another frame of brood in there, or I don't know. I have to see. That's my main folk right there, and the one in the middle, that is my favorite. I like that. They're my favorite bees. You open them up and they just look at you like, hey, what's going on? Those are my favorite bees, the one in the middle. And the ones on the left are growing pretty good too. I'm going to check them out later on today. Go through all of them and make sure they got what they need and expand them if possible. Here's a Bienenbaum. Let's take a quick look over here. I'm going to grab my water jug on my way back. Just grab that real quick. I'm on my phone, I can't edit this out. I'm just going to show you guys real quick. Show you the bees, what I have growing for them. See, that grew naturally. I didn't put that there, but that's pretty cool. This is pretty cool. This flower here. It started out as a little flower, and it kept growing and growing, and I put a stick in the ground. So now it's almost as tall as the stick, which is pretty amazing because I didn't think it would grow that tall. Yeah, there's another Heptacodium. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. And they call those in German, they call them Sieben Söhne des Himmels, which is 7 sons of the heavens. It basically translates to. And there's a cherry tree right there, small one. And some of this is sticker bushes, blackberries. The bees love that. They just bloomed about 2 weeks ago, and some of it is actually blooming later. So the bees are up there looking at it right now. They're in there searching around, but starting to turn to berries now. And I trimmed most of this down so that this is basically a berry bush for to be able to get berries from, which is, I really enjoy eating those, so I had to cut it so that it grows to my advantage. I had to cut a lot of it down because it was just too much. Look at all these flowers. Now it's really hard to catch the actual luster of these flowers on my cell phone camera, but if maybe I can get a close-up shot here. I'm gonna try to get a close-up here of this. Look at that. That is awesome. The colors of that radiant. That is just awesome. And some of this hasn't even bloomed yet. I mean, look at this. There's a Buchweizen, they call that, I think. Yeah, and this is supposed to be 2 meters tall when it gets done. Sorry. It's supposed to get 2 meters tall here when all this is done growing, and then I have to mow it all down. Can you imagine that? And rake it all to the side. And then I'm going to get a lot of horse manure, and I'm going to work it in the ground. I have a good source for that now. I have over there, oh, you can probably see it. I cultivated an area just for, it's called gelber Steinklee. It's yellow clover, and it's supposed to also be very, very good for the bees. I didn't know it grows up to like almost 6 feet. It's pretty cool. So I cultivated an area over there, tilled it and sown it and watered it, and fertilized it with horse manure, which was free, which is cool. So I got a bunch of that, and now it's going to grow, and I'm excited to see how that's going to look when it actually starts to grow for next year. This year is basically test and tune, like getting things planted and checking out how they fit here in the Viking camp area here. And there's another Bienenbaum, another bee tree. It's not a very big one, but it's a nice one. It's nice and green. Survived the transplant to the new location pretty well. All this was bush. This is now like a cave. I don't know if you can see this. Hold on, let me get the camera still. Yeah, it's like a cave now, full of, you could walk through it to the top of the bees there. It's pretty cool. There's also another small Bienenbaum over there. Let me turn the camera. Like, I'm on my cell phone, so sorry for the quality. I just was sitting there and I thought I'd share this with you guys. This is too awesome. Look at that. I've never seen such a flower field before, ever. I've got my oak tree there. I planted that one. That's a nice one. It was expensive. We got Prince over there in the car whining. Yeah. All right, guys. That's a quick view of the bee field. There's some nice flowers over there. Let's walk up to those, and then I'll shut the camera off. And I'll be back with you guys later. I'm trying to make a couple videos today on my actual camera, so I can show something really cool. Like always, something really cool is always what we want to see. I like to share cool stuff with you guys. Alright guys, that's it. Have a safe day. Enjoy this beautiful day on Midgard. See you soon.